Hello.
Hello.
Another day in Dubai, another area. We are in JLT.
Yes, Jumeriah Lake Towers.
Jumeriah Lake Towers. So today we're gonna check out what this area has to offer. Check out the lakes, obviously. Check out the towers.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who's been talking about JLT for a long time. It's cheaper than Marina, but it looks kind of like Marina with the water and then the skyscraper beside it.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about the pros and cons from our experience and yeah, check it out.
So what's nice here is palm trees following the whole way. You have super cool color of the water. It's like blue-green kind of color.
Yeah, as you can see, this is not natural.
No fishes. But I like the color though. It looks good against the building because the building is quite blue, the window is blue, so it's matching the kind of environment.
Yeah, it looks cool. It's more like a big pool, but it gives the marina and like a little bit Mediterranean look to it and feeling. And we were a bit concerned about the weather today, right? And because as you can see, it's a bit gray. We were a bit worried that the color would not show, but it actually brings it out even more in a different way than when we've been here when it's sunny. JLT is situated basically on the other side of the highway from the marina. So you got your metro, or the tube basically going here, and then you cross the bridge and you come to JLT. So a lot of people confuse it with the marina. They're totally disconnected, but they look very similar. That's the key.
There's two bridges.
Two bridges, yeah.
That you can come over to the marina, and that's where the metro station are.
There's two metros, and you also have the tram going down from the marina and then out to the palm that's going over here. Right, so it is kind of convenient, but people tend to advertise it as like the marina view or like very close to the marina. But if you would walk from JLT, the closest places on JLT down to the sea, like JBR by the marina, that's probably a good 25 minutes, yeah, 25 minutes or something to get down there. So it's actually quite far. So even if you're close, like adjacent to it, it's because of the highway and because of the distance, it's quite far. So now I think you got a bigger perspective of like the size of the lake. And I think the pictures might not really do it justice. It probably looks better than it actually feels. So it's opposite. Because yeah, it looks cool with the buildings and it looks with the lake. But if you really take a detailed look into it, like the stores they have there, the restaurants and cafes are very strange selection. And also if you take a closer look to the actual buildings around here. So there's so many different developers and they open up so many plots. So what you will also find here, because this is quite an old neighborhood now actually, is that you also have some developers that started a project, but then the money, the finances were, gone. So you would have these ghost towers around here as well, just, where they started to build, but then they had to cancel everything. So in JLT, you have to be extra careful with what type of building you're buying and what developer. We walked around half of the lake. What's the feeling so far?
I have a better feeling this time than I had the first time we went here. It's more people walking around, people with dogs, and people running out here. The only thing I will say with this is the restaurants and the cafes.
Yeah.
They're not super nice.
No, it looks more like they would be places in, no offense, but like in Deira or something. It's it looks very low budget. Most of the places, there's no nicer restaurants or lounges or something. And it's also not that many hotels, which also means that there's not as many like bars and things like that.
Yeah, the only big bars is McGettigan's.
The Irish, you can always count on the Irish. Yeah.
You always love the Irish bars. You can find them everywhere in the world.
Everywhere in the world, there's an Irish pub.
Feels like home. But the good thing with the JLT is the Airbnb. if you want to stay close to the marina, but with a lower budget, this is the perfect area.
Yeah.
The apartment that is on Airbnb is kind of basic, I will say.
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah, it's much cheaper than the marina.
Yeah, and also talking, investment-wise, it's a bit. Again, it depends on the developer. Quite similar to JVC. So you need to look at the developer and the project. But if you want to like buy an investment property and rent out for Airbnb, you can buy something with a good view from the balcony. So like the tourists, what do they want? They want to take like a picture on the balcony, and you have like the water outside, you know, in the sun, and you know, look all glamorous. You can get that here. Then on the inside of the apartment can look pretty shit, but you can still, you know, probably rent it out for.
Yeah, and we met some people who actually bought a lot of places here, and kind of it wasn't that great, the apartments, but they totally renovated it and used that decorator interior and just fixed them up, and it looks nice now. And they had a good ROI on them.
So you could make good investments here, but long term this area, I don't know. It's very soulless. I think there's no true identity to it. I don't really think there's people who like
actually live here for a long time.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people come here at the first, stay here for a couple of months before they find a nicer apartment in areas that wish more about the community that we've been discussing before.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone who's like, I've been living in JLT for 8 years. This is my neighborhood. It's not really that vibe. I don't really know. Location still, it's good. Very good, easy to get out. If you want to go down to Abu Dhabi, it's also perfect from here. And our apartment that we bought is only like 2-3 stops away. So it's only like 8 minutes away. So yeah, location-wise, it's cool.
Starting to rain now.
Yeah. And what happened over there just before? So there were these two ladies, two girls.
Asked me to model for their brand.
Yeah.
I wish I wore some makeup if I knew this was coming. But yeah.
So my model girlfriend, I knew it all along. So
always happy to help. So.
Yeah, they were super nice, very friendly. So they were just walking towards us, and we saw that they were trying to get your attention, and we thought that they just wanted us to take a photo of them.
They probably thought we were a super big influencer making videos.
Yeah, so you ended up modeling for them for a good 20 minutes, and we actually got one of their products.
Yeah, looks nice though.
That's compensation, yeah.
It's like a mobile accessory.
Yeah, and you find a lot of these people here coming to Dubai, you know, trying to become young entrepreneurs, trying to develop a product, build up a business. So yeah, super cool. We'll put them in the link below.
Yeah.
So now we made our way from before we were in the West Lake, which is basically furthest away from downtown. And now we passed through the road over to the East Lake. So this lake is a little bit, the other one is a little bit longer and thinner. This one is more like a round lake.
And the first impression is that I like this one better. They have more famous restaurants than the other ones.
Yeah, this feels a little bit more tied together, a little bit more high-end. Just get that sense, as you say, a little bit nicer restaurants. You got your KFCs, you got your Pitfire pizza, which is very, very nice pizza here. You haven't tried it.
Yeah, we normally take that on the timeout.
Yeah, their truffle pizza.
Yeah.
Sauce, super good. And believe it or not, it's raining in Dubai, and we spoke about it. We don't know if it's just since last year when we were here, last winter, it was very rare it was raining. Still, it's super rare. Well, apparently the government is actually the ones that are regulating the rain. So believe it or not, they're actually trying to make it a little bit more cool here. The season is longer, so the tourist season is longer, but also for the plants. So they do, I don't know, we saw some videos of it. They basically pick out clouds before, and I don't know if they shoot up salt or something, we can look that up, to actually make it rain. So It's insane.
weird.
It's mental. It's mental. So they know already before. They're gonna tell you it's gonna rain. We're gonna make it rain on Sunday, for instance. So let's see if we can get around here and check out the paddle courts. These are probably the coolest paddle courts we've seen in all over the world.
Yeah, and I think it's a Swedish founder.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. So these are the paddle courts, the famous ones. And this is Dubai in a nutshell, right? They can't just make normal paddle courts, they have to make them on the water. If you shoot the ball out, just buy a new ball, basically, right?
Yeah, there are no net on the roof or whatever you call it.
Yeah. So if you really smash it out as well, the ball is gone. But yeah, I mean, you can probably not get the more scenic view of playing here. Wow, now it's actually nice that it's not sunny, because otherwise it gets quite hot. But it's probably quite difficult to focus on the game here because of the view. We should probably test it out. We tested out there's a lot of paddle courts in Dubai. It's really blooming here. So if you're into paddle,
check it out.
Dubai's the place. Yeah.
And here, I don't know if you can see it, but between these two buildings is the Dubai Marina Mall.
Oh yeah.
And that's just beside the metro.
On the other side, yeah. But in between here, what you can see is 8-lane highway in both directions. Right, so that's, what's it called, that one? Sheikh Zayed. Is it the one of the Sheikh's highways?
But it is kind of similar to the Dubai Hills. That is quite calm here.
Yeah.
You don't hear that much traffic. It's really relaxed here.
It's more an oasis, yeah, and it's a little bit more like multicultural here. You have a little bit more of the Asian vibe here of people from like Bangladesh, from China, India, but also mixed with Europeans. But Dubai Hills our sense has been more like European and also Emirati, but mostly European.
But here's the same as the marina, the different developers. So as you can see, there's not.
Yeah, look at the buildings around here. It's like you got like a copper building. You got next to a very basic old-fashioned white building with. You have even the clothes hanging out on the dry laundry on the balcony. Behind here, actually, I don't know if you can actually see it, but that's a power station. And then on some of the plots here behind, you would have the ghost buildings. So it's not unified at all. It gives, on the first impression, it looks cool, like wow, a lot of skyscrapers, especially for Swedish people. It's like, yeah, wow, this is amazing. But when you look at the actual buildings and you enter them, you will see the quality. Most of them are actually really, really bad developers, and you have to buy something and refurbish it. Yeah, so here I think we have one of those ghost projects. As you can see, it's just stopped in the middle of the construction. The financing are gone, and this before, in the last bubble, basically, or after 2008. From our understanding, the government changed to some extent, so to protect the investors investing in certain developments. Now the companies actually have to show to the government before that they have the finances to complete the building. So they have to upfront come in with the finances, and then as they develop the buildings, they get access to that financing, right? So they're putting these regulations into place now to kind of protect the investors and the buyers, so that we don't get more of these ghost towers, because it's not good marketing for the country and for the region, and of course for the investors, right? So less and less now, and after these, so they learn from their mistakes quite quickly here. And the bubbles and the recovery of the market here is a lot quicker than other markets, because it's going so quick. So we'll see when this bubble bursts how big it will be. But what we've seen before, it tends to pop up quite quickly here. So no more ghost buildings in the future. Okay, any final words for Jumeriah Lake Tower, JLT? What's your review?
It is a nice area. It's beautiful, as you can see. The water is really nice color. You have all the skyscraper, which is really cool. I think this could be a good investment if you want to do Airbnb. Buy an old apartment and then refurnish it and rebuild it. Yeah,
refurbishing it, and you can do that quite cheap. Labor here is it's not that expensive. Of course,
you need to look at the quality there.
yeah, supervision is different. So maybe our expectations from Europe and
The Nordic style.
the quality of things, you know, we have high standards, especially in the Nordics. So you want to be here and supervise it most likely. But yeah, investment-wise, there's still going to be huge potential here because of the location. People staying here for a week want to take those cool pictures and send to their friends back home. JLT is created for that, basically.
Yeah.
Staying here long term, that's not something we would advise on, but come here and make your own impression. Maybe it's something for you.
I would say the community is not probably super well or super good.
No, because people don't stay here for a long time.
Exactly, and the restaurants and the cafes, supermarket, not super high standard on it.
No, but it's quite similar to Marina. People think in Marina that it's just like it's yacht clubs and it's lounges and everything looks unified and high end. It's not. There's some locations, but most locations in the Marina look like this. It's just a barber salon, which is super small and very low cost, and then next to it you got a Pizza Hut, and then next to it you got the shisha bar, next to that you got some random teapot place that we passed by here. So and compared to EMAR projects, compared to like Miras, where it's always going to be a certain standard and it gives a better impression.
You're not going to get that here, or in the Marina either.
No.
But it's close to the beach as well if you wanna go down to that. So
yeah,
it's a good location. And it's easy to get here with the cars. Much easier to get here than in the Marina.
Mm. And you can, and there's also it's more pedestrian friendly. Walking around the lake, running down the lake. If you have kids and want to go out with the baby stroller, it's gonna be nice here on the Sunday. So JLT. Check it out, see if you like it, and if you like these type of videos, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more of these like areas around Dubai for investments, and again, perhaps in some other places in the world coming up as well. And we'll see you on the next video.
Yeah.